Hello, SpeedGaming 5. We have a race for you tonight. This is Darkened5ky versus Flipheal. They are in group party time. And they are racing for not really a lot of big stakes, but there is some implication. Flipheal is out of the tournament. But Darkened5ky has a chance to beat Flipheal and get first place instead of second place if he were to defeat Obscure in the next race. So that's what we're playing for today, and we have rolled Key Sanity, and I'm joined by Philly. How are you doing?
Hello, Mom. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Ready to get this started soon.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I was tracking Flipheal and Mike's race earlier today, and that was fun to watch. Oh, we got a glove.
Yeah, Flipheal going for the classic Uncle Star, Darkened5ky going straight to Houlihan. This is a Key Sanity play. This gets you early money in a mode where you don't necessarily get money because it tends to get loaded into dungeons. So you want to do this before you get flippers because you can get locked out of being able to. But we know that the glove is available, so Flipheal will have the chance if he needs to as well. Flipheal also going for some resource farming, getting full magic refill from an enemy.
Yeah, and is he trying maybe to do a triple?
Oh, Sky joining him in the Uncle check as well. So going for, again, the tree pull for the 10 arrows, and then farming up for another level of tree pull for Flipheal. Flipheal also knows that the guards are dropping the good pack, and he wants the 8 bombs. So he's gonna kill some more guards to hopefully cycle the 8 bomb.
Yeah, maybe complete escape with the bombs that he's gonna get.
That's so good. I love that bomb throw strat.
Oh, that's nice.
There it is, the 8 bomb. Oh, he's going all out. He's using these 8 bombs to do a bomb escape. That is going to give him an edge if there's something here.
Yeah, that brings memories from last year's main tournament with the dreaded bomb start.
Oh yeah. It's the hard standard mode. We don't have that in this tournament. We have standard, but it's a shard sword. It's ambrosia. But neither of these runners rolled that today. Apparently, Darkened5ky has been plagued by open keys for the group stage. That's what I've heard. So Sky going south to north to Kakariko Village. Interesting choice to not blind check the maze race item. It's common to blind check the maze race item in Key Sanity because there's less there that you can safely skip. Keys tend to get placed there a lot, but Sky is rewarded for it not blind checking that by getting to skip the heart piece.
Yeah, most of the time there's a small key there.
It's always a small key, and then you pick it up and it's like Meyer.
Yeah.
Skullwood's in the brewery, the place the brewery sends their drinks to, the tavern. That's good. You want 1. You don't really care too much about having more. Meanwhile, Flipheal found, what was that? Something of Misery Meyer.
Yeah, it's small key from Mr. Meyer.
Yeah, speaking of small key to Meyer, it's another one that you want to have 1 because it makes routing nicer, but it's not really important. And Flipheal also going for the back of escape, I think, now, actually. I was going to say Houlihan, but he has the glove. He can just do these checks.
Yeah, and we also got a ice road on Darkened Sky side.
Did. On the bottle merchant. The compass of Ganon's tower will help us do the big key guessing game more easily, because the big key is placed vanilla-ish. It's in the dungeon, in open key sanity for tournament mode specifically. We also have vanilla castle tower small keys, so you don't get that extremely telegraphed Aga seed where you find 2 castle tower keys in the light world. You actually have to make a gamble.
And let's hope that our runners remember that. There has been cases where people confuse the key sanity modes between inverted and tournament key sanity.
That fish crab prize is quite nice. Better than Houlihan. It's faster to get red rupees from there, so if you're worried about money, you can actually grab another one of those on the way to Zora. Flipheal's just going to get ahead of it, though, and get 2 now.
Yeah, and we found Hammer on Darkened Sky side, sorry.
That's
So we're only missing.
Yeah. Most of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're going to get a high 5. Flipheal says, I don't need that 20 rupees, I have a better source of 20 rupees. Oh, the map of Ganon's Tower, how exciting. It does absolutely nothing for us. Literally does nothing. So we're gonna get a bit of steps retracing, with Sky going to the back of escape and Flipheal gonna do the cat checks. Flipheal is also a little bit in danger, but thankfully there isn't a whole lot that can hurt you in Kakariko Village, unless he walks into his bomb in Cackwell like Sky did. Don't do that, please, Flipheal.
So where is Darkened Sky going now? Maybe South Shore?
South Shore seems like the next logical play, except that he hasn't done the escape yet, so that's an option for him. But he is going South Shore. This could be interesting if money comes into play, because Flipheal has spent a good amount of time actually farming up. Not quite enough, but enough that he could get the bush crab again, I think, on the way to Zora, and reasonably expect to have enough to buy the item.
Yeah, assuming that they decide to do the water checks without Flippers, Boots, or Moonpearl to help out.
That's true. Zora is in logic. All the other water checks are not, and when you don't have the Moonpearl, you cannot get the water walk state that you need to fake Flipper the waterfall chests. So that is a very unappealing play. But Sky did find the hook shot here in the dam, which doesn't do anything yet, but could be important for Mountain or otherwise. And there's a shield that Flipheal will be very happy to see is skippable.
And yeah, the mountain is not in logic quite yet, although we know our runners can navigate that dark cave without problems.
Yeah, the Dark Cave is still, I would say it's not free on this equipment. You don't have a sword or boots to continuously navigate, but you could hammer and hookshot to triangulate yourself or just memorize the route like some people do. Big Key of Mire and the Moonpearl, so that's Dark World access right off the bat. Looks like Mountain is for later.
Seems like it, yeah.
Let's see if Flipheal goes for the blind check of Maze Race. Oh, careful, Sky. Oh, not blind checking it. I thought that was meta in Key Sanity, but both runners didn't do it, so they must know something I don't. That it's trash. It's a heart piece. Okay, save and quit from Sky. He says, I am not fake flippering on this equipment. Not when I have the entire Dark World to do, so this looks like maybe a Hype Cave play. Oh, no.
Or not?
Sahasrahla? Sahasrahla does give you the early pendant info that you can take advantage of if you want to know where to go when you're in the Dark World. Knowing what one of your pendants is can be good, especially if it's Thieves Town when we have the big key.
Yeah, and so you think that Flipheal is gonna do the water checks, given that he has been farming some money?
That would be interesting. He actually... I'm thinking, I don't think Sky found enough there that would bring Flipheal to 500. I thought Flipheal would at least find something here and be able to do one farm, but now he'd have to do multiple farms of the bush crab. So I think he won't. And look at that shield, walking right past it. No respect. At the beginning of the race, in the race room, he always says, good luck, have fun, dodge shields. So any shield that is dodgeable is a benefit for Flipheal, psychologically. Green pendant is pod, which I missed Sky talking to Sahasrahla, but thankfully he did a map check for me. It's also helpfully marked on the tracker. Thank you to Derek Sharna for tracking for us. Key Sanity is not easy to track. Oh, boots! Early boots, love to see it in Hype Cave. Oh, and here come the chest turns. You know you've got to... I don't know what to call them, the Spleebs. Spleeby and his brother Sky both like to race each other on who can do the most chest turns in a seed. And that's why they're both so good at it. Alright, and we've got, of course, that Key Sanity classic, walking into the bottle merchant and talking to him, and accidentally buying his bombs. Nope, okay, good. Skullwoods, and I missed the other one.
Desert Palace.
Desert Palace. Alright. Worth noting, we did get a Desert Palace small, which is logically required for Landmo, along with the Desert Big. And, of course, Stumpy with the... It feels like you always get like one of each key, so this one's a Turtle Rock small. It's our first one. We're probably due for an Ice Palace small very soon. Is this normal for Key Sanity? This is pretty early for Dark World access, but we do have, I guess, a good balance between finding keys and finding items. So I wouldn't say this is out of the ordinary. The Dark World access came very quickly, though. And it really does seem like that's where we're supposed to go, because most places have been visited. I mean, they could go to Eastern. Flipheal's already been to the Escape. And the mountain's out of logic. I almost think Sky should have bought the bonds here. He's down to 1. And so is Flipheal's down to 2. And here we go with the Lumberjack check. If you have the boots, it might be worth checking this, because it is now a little more relevant than it was before. And of course, one of the Lumberjacks always lies and one of them always tells the truth. Okay, just a red rupee. We've seen enough of those this seed. We're not going to get that. Okay, Sky, again, also eating those crab prizes like they're candy on his way to Sequence Broken Death Mountain Blade. It is very appealing. We have Hookshot and Hammer, which means Tower of Hera is completable, if not in logic. None of this is in logic, but Hera less so because we don't have the big key. But also entirety of East Death Mountain in the Light World and most of West Death Mountain. And then if the myths show up, we'll have Dark Death Mountain. I think Flipheal did not check Lumberjack, but he also didn't climb the mountain, so maybe he needs to do that on its own trip. He appears to be going towards the Dark World instead. Maybe heading into Thieves Town to clear that. Thieves Town will be a little bit tough. It's kind of like inverted, where you don't have a sword and you have to do like hammer blind. That's what we're looking at here. But blind itself is not in logic without the small key, so it's unlikely to be the thing that actually blocks progression. Oh, Flipheal checked Lumberjack early. Nice. Okay. Thanks for that. I did see him farming rupees there, and that makes sense. That, of course, he would also check Lumberjack. Oh.
And Flipheal deciding to check Skullwoods first.
Yeah. Skullwoods is bold, but also when you have one key, it's a lot better than when you have no keys, because you don't have to steal a key, and you don't have to trap yourself inside. And Skullwoods does have a lot more items and key sanity. Meanwhile, Sky used his last bomb here. Thankfully, Moldorm seemed to be dropping them, so he gets it back. And he's using the only item he can use right now to hit switches, which is the Ice Rod. So shoutouts to the Ice Rod, and also shoutouts to Fire Rod in Skullwoods. Gross.
And we found the myths on Darkened5ky side.
Oh, that's really good for him. He can do Dark Death Mountain now and Hookshot Cave and check the Medallion of PR. I think both players have found some pretty good stuff here. Now we have to hope that Sky is not deterred from checking Skullwoods by having no Fire Rod or no sword. Oh, Flipheal has a shield. I'm so sorry. My condolences.
Well, he can still have this like enemy to take it away.
That's true. There's a picket right outside the woods. Would not be surprised if he went out there and just stood there, because this is a race, and that's what you do in races. You just stand there and wait. Alright, here is... What is this bomb? Okay. That was rude. Oh, it's a classic Haripot setup with the bomb. It's not Philly Pot, I'm sad. I want one person to do Philly Pot on this stream, come on.
Well, they both already have boots, so we might not see it this time.
Yeah, Flipheal will probably just do the spin speed. But Sky went so far as to not do the spin speed and also not do Philly Pot, so I'm a little bit sad. And welcome to our raiders from SpeedGaming 6. We have ourselves a tournament race. This is a group match. It's the second to last group match in this group, I believe. And we have rolled Key Sanity. Oh, people are wondering what Philly Pot is. Philly herself, the person I'm calling with, invented this Haripot method that does not get hecked by subpixels as much as the old Dracaris method. And it's very similar, where you like line up on the pegs and then back up. And oh, we have a pendant. I don't imagine this will get skipped even if they know it's a pendant. It's pretty quick to do.
Yeah, with the boots and the hookshot, there's no reason not to do it.
Did Sky look at Spectacle Rock?
I don't think he did.
Okay. It's fine, because he didn't go into Spec Rock Cave either. And that can be its own set of checks. Since he doesn't have a good way to check those and still do these Dark Death Mountain checks in Spiral Cave. But all he had to do was step forward like 4 tiles and see the item.
Maybe he's gonna do it once he checks the inside of Spec Rock.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. But if he's going to the Dark World now, he won't be able to get out of the Dark World unless the mirror turns up. So that will not be done on this trip. Now, meanwhile, Flipheal is in Thieves Town, doing that 5-heart Thieves Town, potentially a 5-heart Hammer Blind coming up. The shield will not protect him in that fight because it's not red. See, Flip,
if he would have picked the other one.
Yeah. Pick up the red shield. Maybe you. Well, here's the thing. He'll nail it either way, right? These runners are good. They know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, no doubt
Flipheal
about
don't
it.
need no shield.
It will be a walk in the park.
See, it's not even a 5-heart Hammer Blind. It's a 6-heart Hammer Blind. Easy peasy. Now you can get hit by blind still 2 times. So the desert map, not very useful. We already know what that is. It's a red crystal. That was found alongside a heart container for Sky in Super Bunny Cave.
And we got Thief's Town was green pendant, I believe.
The green pendant was pod.
Yeah.
And it looks like our tracker marked it on Sky's side and not Flipheal's side because Sky's the only one with the knowledge. I always like it when they do that. It's like way above and beyond. It's hard to do. Like, don't expect the tracker to do it, but when they do, it's kind of cool. Oh, there's the small kid eyes we were due. We gotta get one of each. We need the Swamp Small. You usually do need the Swamp Small, actually. That's a pretty important one. What are you doing, Sky? Are you gonna hover to that chest? Because it's closer? He is!
Would you with a heart and a half?
Sky is...
Oh, he's...
Sky is flexing his hover skills by using it to save time in Hookshot Cave while having the hookshot out. That is a flex and a half.
Yeah, that was really nice. And he also hovered in the Paradox Cave. We forgot to mention that, but instead of doing the traditional bomb jump.
Yeah, I can think of a good reason why he didn't do the bomb jump. I'm pretty sure he was out of bombs when he was there. And also, he would have hovered anyway, because he's good enough at hovering that he can reliably save time there. I saw the attempt at a chest turn, Sky. Don't think I'm gonna miss that one. Oh, he had one. Well, you don't want to use your last bomb. Alright, here comes Flipheal. Is now going for a 7-heart Hammer Blind. It's a little more reasonable than a 5-heart Hammer Blind. He can actually get hit an extra time now, instead of not really. I say this about getting hit. Flipheal hasn't actually gotten hit yet. He is a pro at this. Look at this. Damageless. Amazing.
Yeah, as we said, he wasn't going to have any problems with that, and he must be a little bit disappointed seeing that pendant.
Oh, so we have our pendant info now, like our full info. Flipheal hasn't picked up the green pendant knowledge yet, but he can at any time he wants. He also hasn't blind pulled the Hera pendant that Sky did.
So I guess Flipheal is gonna find out what the Grim Pendant is now.
Yep, and Sky is going to get his mushroom back by hard resetting after turning it in, just for 3 bombs. And Flip did get the fire rod, it was in Skullwoods. Sky does not have that yet. So if you're on Team Sky, you hope that he dips into Skullwoods on the way down. It's a little painful to get the fire out in Skullwoods and not have a sword. Because you have the opportunity to go to the back of Skullwoods and get 1 item, but you can't get to the boss. So no one's actually going to do it. So you're going to leave behind 1 item regardless.
Yeah, maybe if you know it was a pendant, maybe you would do it and leave the boss alone. But you're right. I don't see anyone going to the back without a sword.
It's a very good point too, that if it's a pendant, you would do it. It's funny how something being a pendant can make you more willing to dive it. Flipheal, running out of options, I think, that are in logic, is going to Eastern. This could be a huge play or a huge waste of time. Or it could be nullified by Sky doing the same thing. And there's the fire rod for Sky.
And I believe that is our first pod small key.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was close. I think Sky wanted to get Wallmaster there, but he killed the Wallmaster by accident. So Flipheal is out of logical checks in Eastern. There is 1 more check he can do that's out of logic. I know I was watching a race today earlier where they went into Eastern because they expected the logic to be here, and they found nothing except the boots out of logic in this chest. Ooh. It does raise the question though, what is left in logic? Front of pod. A little bit in the middle with that 1 small key.
And
Zora.
Catfish.
Oh, the bow in Eastern is just like the... It's just like the fire rod in Skullwoods. It's like, oh, this is the thing I need to do the dungeon. I still can't do the dungeon. So I guess you go to pod? And you hope that the bow is required for that, except you can skip the bow for pod, at least to get the 2 checks there. And pod's a pendant too. But that is where Flipheal's going, because that's what you do when you dive Eastern. You find a bow and a pod small key. Oh wait, no, Sky found the pod small. Where was that? It was on Sick Kid, okay.
Do any of our runners have checked Pyramid?
Pyramid has not been looked at yet. Nor has Catfish.
So that could be our next progression, or maybe Mirrorless Smith chain.
Oh yeah, the mids were out of logic. So something has to show up that gives us mountain access before that turns up. But it could lead to, I mean, that could just be the lab. So it could lead to something for sure. I would say, when you have done the Eastern dive and you have found the bow in a pod small, you go to pod. Because that's just leaning into your plays, even if it's only a 1 key pod. Flip has not done the mountain, But the mountain's still out of logic, and maybe the flute is here. And the flute could be important. It usually is.
Yeah, especially because we know that Mystery Mire is a crystal, so we know that flute is hard required.
Oh yeah. The big key of Turtle Rock. Again, something we need eventually. You need 3 small keys and the big key to do Turtle Rock and Key Sanity. Darkened5ky says no to Back of Thieves. Very interesting. I wonder what he has in mind. Because he could do Hammer Pace and Mirrorless Smith. He has already shown a clear disregard for the logic, so no reason not to push it forward with this Hammer Pegs play here. Meanwhile, Flipheal leaning on his also out of logic bow find, which is really interesting.
After all, logic is a suggestion, right?
Yeah, the lamp has to be somewhere. Like, at this point, we could probably narrow it down to just a few locations. Zora being a very likely one. The Desert Big was on the Hammer Pegs, also required. Sky is just a mirror and flute away from being able to do Desert. Or, of course, if the book comes up, he could do it that way as well. Flipheal is going to show us Pyramid and Catfish. It's one of the few things we have left between us. So Sky doesn't hammer dash because if he did, he would just bonk. You need a sword to actually hammer dash through things. If you don't have a sword, you will hammer dash and bonk on the first peg. Here's the Mirrorless Smith for Sky, and really nothing on Lumberjack, or nothing on Pyramid Ledge as well. Weird. Catfish, Zora. What else?
I don't think we have much left in logic besides that. So I think we're soon gonna find either a flute or a lamp to put everything in logic, and who knows what else. Mirror.
What's odd is even if we do put things in logic, we're bottlenecked still. Like, Sky isn't finding anything behind these mitts except for things he can't use yet. Like the desert big key. It's important, but he can't use it yet. Oh, nice attempt at the quick fish from Flipheal. Of course, Sky has not done the escape yet, and he probably thinks, oh, Lamp is just here in the escape. He will find out it is not. Do you think, did Flipheal do Dark Cross when he was here? He must have, right?
I think he didn't.
Oh. Well, that's in logic. With the fire rod. Maybe
yeah, I might be wrong, but I think that without anything to guide you through the dark rooms.
Yeah, he went in there really early. He had nothing. Just 8 bombs and a prayer. So this could be a huge find for Sky. I also see Nagina's cave check and Desert Ledge. Have we seen Nagina's cave yet?
This is our first time looking at Nagina's
cave. Yo, this song is an absolute blast. It is not here. That was just 10 arrows. This pack is a Zelda Remixes pack. Zelda Remade, it's called. And it's basically like upgraded chiptune of the original Zelda soundtracks. So Flipheal can find things on the mountain that Sky hasn't checked yet, namely the Spectacle Rock cave item.
Oh yeah, true. We didn't see that, and also with our fire rod, I believe that back of escape is in logic.
Yeah, it is. So Sky can do this, and then Zora, and I think that's it. I keep running out of things, and then be like, wait, there's one more.
Yeah, I think that at this point is either back of escape, Sora, Spec Rock.
Yeah, Obscure brings up a good point in chat. The Flipheal has kind of flipped on his strategy of following the logic and decided, heck it, I'm just gonna go up the mountain. Something will be here, even if it's not logic. How is a swamp small? That's, again, it's like, we need that, but we can't do anything with it yet. So, Sky, I guess we'll do Catfish and Pyramid, and maybe Pod. Probably not Pod. Probably just Catfish and Pyramid. Pod for one logical item would be crazy. Although I think you can open Pod and get a couple more. Yeah, he has a key. Don't you love finding the map of the blind pendant you pulled?
A little bit too late to find that.
That is a big difference, though. I mean, Sky had that map before Thieves Town, and he chose not to do the back. And Flipheal did not have the map, and he chose to do it. And I don't think Flipheal found anything there, so this could be a big time save for Sky, just by virtue of finding the map first.
Yeah, and also at that point, Darkened5ky, he still had a lot of checks available. We might see him going back to Thieves Town if he's starting to run out of checks.
Yeah, Thieves Town's a weird one, though, because without the small key, both the attic and blind are out of logic. So you're left with only the blind maiden cell for logical progression. Alright. Do us proud, Flipheal. Sky looks like he's on his way to Zora, which I think for us is last location. Oh, see, Flipheal's doing the thing most people who have boots will do, which is the hook speed hair pot. It is the fastest way if you can get it first try. And it doesn't take a bomb. And we have not seen the one check in the back of Skull, of course. That's such a dirty check.
That is true.
It's the one I said you never do. You never go there just for the one check when you just found the fire rod and have the rest of the Dark World to do. But that is true, it could be there. Sky is going to take a detour and check the bridge here. It's out of logic, but it is on the way. Oh, the mirror's there. That's so good. An out of logic mirror. What are we doing?
So where are those flippers?
Where are the flippers? Well, they're not in Swamp. I can tell you that much. I could have told you that at the beginning of the seed.
Or ice?
Yeah. They're not on the Hylia Island either, as Darkened5ky showed us.
They could still be vanilla.
It can be. Which would open up the... What would that do? We already saw, I think Flipheal showed a Spectacle Rock item. Did he?
That would give us swamp. since we already have
Oh.
Swamp Small.
We have the Swamp Small, of course. Yeah, wow, that would be crazy. But it would be plausible. Ooh, Sky bonked. So he does not have the water walk anymore. Oh no! There's a big key on the ledge. That's a feels bad bonk.
Yes, and without the bow that Flipheal found, he's not gonna be able to Ancilla.
I don't think he has the tools for it. Yeah, he made the cane and the red boon maybe, but not with fire rod and ice rod alone. No! Zora has the flippers. You called it. Oh no, it's in Swamp. I love these
Swamp
hook
is the
shots.
answer.
I love these hook shots Sky is using. That's a dedicated expression because the hook shot takes time to retract. Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
Swamp and Key. Let's
If
go.
there was any doubt what was the next progression, I guess that's the answer.
Alright, well, follow the breadcrumbs. All of them. You get the mirror, the Swamp Vicky, and the flippers in a row. Plus whatever was in the waterfall. And he chooses to... Where's he going? He's filling a bottle, but why? Oh, I know what he's doing! Wait, no, I don't. He has the hammer. I was gonna say he's gonna do like a fire rod Argus, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and definitely there are faster ways to get here.
Oh, you think he's going to... Oh, he's going to... Ice Palace? I don't know if I would choose Big Keyless Ice Palace over Swamp. Because one of them is in Logic for the boss, and one of them is not. And Ice Palace is hard. Swamp is fine. You have to do Hammer Argus, but it's not the end of the world.
Well, he's not doing any of those.
No, he's going back to Sanctuary. Maybe he wants to do Purple Chest and Swamp together.
Yeah, that could be an option.
They're near each other. Yeah, we're also caneless, so Ice Palace is... it would be bold to go there. So Sky has a little bit more riding on this race than Flipheal does. So Flipheal is out of the tournament, so nothing that happens in here can save him. But Sky can get first place or second place depending on whether he beats Flipheal here, if he also beats Obscure Lifeform in the next race. Obscure spent like 10 minutes explaining this to both of us. took a while.
Oh yeah, we had a whole interview with him.
We need to know what we're talking about for comms. Normally I rely on the other comm, and then I realized, wait, Philly's here in chat, also confused. This won't do.
Asking the same questions.
Okay, Flipheal is going to get his flippers. I should have made a flip pun here, but I blew it. So Sky's being extra thorough, doing mirror checks on the way down. So I guess we'll do Purple Chest and Cave 45 together and check the shovel, because I don't know if that's been looked at yet. I don't remember where the shovel was found.
I believe maybe in the mountain. I could be wrong.
I hope it's the mountain, so I'm not wrong again about there being no logical checks left. Ah, Spiral Cave. Okay, good. The Flipheal getting his progression in order, so he gets the flippers and then the mirror. Pauses for a good while, because that has implications with a capital I.
So how long do you think it's gonna take Flip to find his swamp small?
That was... Where was that again?
Oh gosh, I have terrible memory.
Hopefully he doesn't go looking for it in swamp. But it looks like he might. Where else would this go? I mean, he could do K45, but this looks like a swamp play. Maybe he has it. Oh, he's getting his shield going. Oh, come on. What did I say about racing? This is serious business. You don't stand around. Also, poor Flipheal didn't actually get his shield stolen. He had to do 2 cycles before he gave up. I appreciate the effort, though. And he knows he's immune from your shield, because one of the shields is sitting right here outside. Oh, high five. Look at that fire shield just sitting there, threatening him. Oh no, he doesn't have the key. But the big key of Eastern is here. He probably feels really good about that. Because he found the bow in Eastern, and now he can go back and clear it. But it doesn't get him in logic.
Yeah, and maybe with that Eastern big, maybe Darkened5ky will feel a little bit more motivated to go find his bow.
Oh, thanks for the reminder. The small key of Swamp is in Dark Cross. It was that one check that Flipheal didn't do from his early escape maneuver. And may or may not even realize is in logic right now. But even if he did, it's not appealing to get back to. He has to walk there just for one check.
Yeah, and eventually he's gonna get bottlenecked into going to Dark Cross, but obviously we don't want him to last locate that.
He can. Hopefully there actually is something very, very restrictive sitting in Swamp. And that it's not just like the big key of Ice Palace. Because he can go to Ice Palace and find the progression. And then not do Dark Cross.
Yeah. We want maybe something that just you need to go to Swamp, or you need to go to Dark Cross, and there's no way around it.
Not quite there with the... Oh no. This is rude. He can't defend himself because he has no sword. Time to bring out the big guns. I'm not actually sure what happened in his first diver down attempt. It almost felt like he got a stray diagonal coming out of the rail.
Yeah, it looked like it. Sometimes, for whatever reason, my bombs diver down don't wanna work out.
Oh, Sky. Sky, don't popularize that. Baby does it too. It makes me clench every time. It's one of those things that saves like a few frames, and if you fail it, you lose like 20 seconds. Because you have to reset the room. But you know what? If you can pull it off, more power to you. Quake is here. That's required for Turtle Rock. And the flute!
And the flute.
No, this is the kind of lockout progression we're hoping for Flipheal. Because he will not be able to get to Mire, and likely not be able to get to Desert either, without that flute. And the fact that the flute is with Quake means that he's not going to miss out on Quake very long either.
Yeah, so that locks him quite a few locations that he's not going to be able to just go inside and wander around without his Swamp Small.
Darkross is still a very dirty place for, yeah, that... Oh no, Flipheal. This tiptoe around the purple chest in the portal. I'm glad he got it, though, because that always feels bad to lose.
Yeah, that would have been painful.
Sky is going to come up on a very fun, with a big old quotes around it, Argus fight. The King of Samaria is here too? Okay. The funny thing about Kane is there's nothing that Kane really locks that's not also locked by what's in Left Side Swamp. But the Kane is something that would appeal to somebody going into Ice Palace. So, in theory, Flipheal is disincentivized from going to Ice Palace until he goes to Swamp, which means he might get funneled into Darkross that much sooner.
Yeah, hopefully that will be the case. Obviously, we know both runners are going to be very capable at doing that Ice Palace bump jump. But it's always nicer to have Somaria.
I hope you like menus.
Oh yeah, this fight kind of terrible.
Oh no. Oh, and then you get like the menu where you're like missing Boomerang. Thankfully he's not, but... In fact, it's almost like he has too many items. Like he has to menu through stuff. Bombos! Huh, well we don't know the medallion from Mire yet. I didn't notice that Sky picked that up when he went to Purple Chest. So it's just Ether left for our potential Mire lockout. Hey, Flipheal's going to Darkross. Let's go. Look at that quad! I'd love to see it. If you don't get that quad when you're swordless, you have a rough fight ahead of you, because hitting Argus with the hammer is not easy. So unless Lamp is sitting in Ice Palace, this looks like one of those required Fire Rod Darkross seeds.
Yeah, and the lamp could be what, back of Skullwoods, maybe?
Oh yeah, there's always we don't talk about Back of Skullwoods. Back of Skullwoods does not exist until you get a sword. That's the rule. It totally has a sword in it, by the way. Because that's how it works.
Yeah, and we're almost 1 hour in, and any sword hasn't showed up.
Nope. No sword. We've already cleared all of Death Mountain. And we can't get into Mire without a sword. We can't get into Turtle Rock without a sword. So I expect one to turn up soon. It can't go that long. It's totally in Back of Skull.
Oh, can you imagine that the first sword is And that chest under the bridge?
I mean, the fire rod was there, right? You get the fire rod and you're like, oh, I dare you to go deeper. And if you do, you're rewarded with the sword. Oh, it's ether. Oh, that's dirty too. So doubly can't get into Mire. Ooh, nice. Was that a first frame dash from Sky? If you get the first frame dash in that room, you can bypass the sparks. And he did find a sword here, so I was gonna say we can enter Mire, but no, we can't. It's ether. But we can do desert, and desert is full clearable and fully in logic. I'd like to give a shout out to the Ice Rod, because people are trash talking it. Sky was in Paradox Cave earlier, and used his last bomb to open Paradox Cave. And when he went into the top of Paradox Cave, the only thing he had to hit the switch with was the Ice Rod. So it has uses, but it only has one logical use, and that is Trinex. Sky's using magic saving strats because the fire rod is his best weapon against Landmo right now. There we go. He has exactly enough to kill Landmo if he can land all the shots, and he does. For a big key of pod. Required for pendant pod? Maybe? Okay. Did Flipheal just do the hook shot clip as well? In Left Side Song?
He did.
Did they agree to this ahead of time, or did they just both go for it? Because apparently it's a thing you do now. Is this the meta? I hope it's the meta, because that would be funny.
Tons of time.
It saves so many frames. So many frames. Think of all the frames you can save to make up for the seconds you lose the one time you miss. Powder is here, in Desert. Powder could... yeah, it could be something. I'm a little more suspicious of that big P of pod, though, considering Landmo is fully in logic. But I wouldn't worry too much about it until we get more pod smalls. So we'll take the crystals we get out of this. Pyramid Fairy is the big one that gets put into play because now we can do Skullwoods as well and get the red crystals. So I think it's about time to start talking about Go mode. So we need Ether, and we need a sword. That's it, right?
Yeah, I think we're good on keys.
Yeah, we got 3 TR keys on Flipheal's side. Sky is missing one, but I missed where it was. And then every other big key that matters has been found. And then, of course, the GT big key is going to be in GT, and we have all 4 big keys on both sides, all 4 small keys. So there's no reason to worry about whether you can actually get to the big key or not. I wish I had more to say about this Argus fight, but it's Hammer Argus. It's you hook shot, you menu, you hammer.
It's as bad as it looks.
Oh, 2 for 2 quad Arguses. Heck yeah.
That is really nice.
Oh, Sky dashing out of that room. No, dude. NMG runners are watching. I like that Sky isn't even going for the obvious sword that's in this room. Just going straight for the boss.
Who needs a second sword after all, right?
I think Sky has a potion. This would be a good time to use it, just because of the speed boost you get from fire running. Unless you can just do that, then you don't need the potion. Yeah, never mind, just hammer him to death. Easy peasy. Oh, this is an Ice Palace play for Flipheal. So that makes sense because you have the cane. It's not in logic to do the boss, but most of the dungeon is in logic. They have the big key. We don't have the big key, but we have the 2 small keys. And then, of course, the cane makes Icebreaker possible, so you can get to the chest more easily.
Hopefully he will find a sword here. Since he's gonna be delaying that sword that Darkened5ky found.
Okay, it's not a sword. It is a small key of this dungeon, though, which is funny. It's a little different. Interesting that Flipheal is not going for Meyer's Shed first, if nothing else, to get the Meyer Medallion info. And that would have made this dungeon quite a bit easier. Because he needs to manage his magic more closely now because he does not have the ability to use Bombos on the boss. Especially if he has to Icebreaker multiple tries. He does have a blue potion in his pocket, so that will help. Whoa! People do that? Push those blocks in the other direction? I wonder if he remembered that he needs to hit the switch. I think he remembers that he needs to hit the switch. That's good, because I didn't remember. You do need that switch if you don't have the big key. He'll be fine with the magic, because he has Blue Potion, but it's better if you have that for spanning Fire Rod in Phase 2, rather than having to use it all in Phase 1.
So we found absolutely nothing in Pyramid Fairy.
Where's the lamp? Has to be somewhere. Alright, Sky's following Flipheal into Ice Palace, but he has a significant lead on crystals. And he has a sword. There's really nothing stopping Lamb from being on Cold Stare. The big key would have to show up somewhere, but that could just be here.
I mean, at this point, it could be almost anywhere except the some of the dark rooms.
Yeah, because we got the logical mountain access, so the mid-turn logic. But it still has to show up at some point.
And Flip finding that 4th TR key.
And leaving behind the big chest because there's no big key available. So hopefully that's not anything. What's really good about that the TR small key that Flipheal found is that Sky will find it too. And Sky needs it. He needs 3. Flipheal needs 3 and he has 3, but Sky only has 2.
Yeah, assuming that there's no progression in Lava Chest.
Yeah, heads up for Flipheal for knowing about the magic pots in that small key locked room. So he uses the hammer to get a couple triple hits, and then once they get out of control, which they usually do, he takes out the fire rod and makes quick work of them. Very good fight. It's one of the most calculated, smooth, swordless cold stares I've seen. Okay, so Flipheal just bought bomb and arrow upgrades. Why is he buying more? I think he's thinking about Vitreous. He's thinking he might be in Mire with the fighter sword. But he doesn't know that he can't get in there yet. I'm with you, Tam. That was always my first thought. But no, this is not that tournament. So he both doesn't know that the sword's going to be here, and he also doesn't know that... He does now, but he didn't know that ether is required. Probably a little disappointing, because the silvers will probably just show up at some point. The Sky doesn't even have that option, because he doesn't have the bow. The Flipheal's big advantage in this race right now is that bow from Eastern. If another bow shows up, accessible before GT, that's really bad for him. He does not want to see silver arrows. Good play from Sky, focusing on puffs one at a time to make sure that you're not dealing with 3 the entire fight. So where does Sky go next?
TR?
TR. Sounds like a good play. It's a lot of items. As long as he doesn't accidentally open the door to the lava chest, he can get all the way to Trinex.
Well, he doesn't have the big key, I just noticed.
Oh, where was that? Was that in,
Pot?
Pod? He's going there. He's going to Pod. This might be a Pod Eastern play. This might be Flipheal's advantage, dissolving before our eyes. The Pod Big Key is... So the TR Big Key being in Stalfos room is in logic with the one small key that was found.
And because he decided to go to pod before Eastern, he's not gonna have his bow.
No, and actually he'll find the big key and leave, won't he? Because, oh, I can do TR now. And he's gonna walk away from that bow, and hopefully for him there's a bow in TR, but if there isn't, that's a big gain for Flipheal again. But if he doesn't consider the TR big key to be good enough and he decides to go to Eastern, then I don't think he's gonna do that. But if he does, that is good for him, bad for Flipheal. That's a really nice finish with the hammer. Sometimes you get bad Lambo patterns that don't allow you to get all the fire rod shots. And being able to back it up with the hammer on 2 hits to get a fast 2 cycles, very good. Sky is going for the minute clip, so getting the chests that are still out of logic, even for Flipheal, because they were lamp locked.
Yeah, he decided to save that potion instead of using it to get rid of the mimics.
That is interesting. Yeah, he has a potion, so he's confident enough at minute clip that he doesn't consider it worth it. I think the time he spent killing the green mimics was enough to make the potion camera unlock worth it. Especially because how easy it is to get back to the potion shop and get another one if you need.
Oh yeah, with that flute it's no problem getting back to get more potions.
And Sky also has more pod keys to play with while he's in here, so there could be something in the back that he could find. Meanwhile, Flipheal is leaning on that bow advantage and continuing to Armos in Eastern, clearing a crystal that Darkened5ky cannot get yet. Ooh, Sky calculating his options. He's thinking he doesn't have enough keys to do both Harmless Hallway and Helmasaur and the big key chest. But he has to choose something, and if Helmasaur being a pendant, that might actually be worth just spending both, but he decides to leave with TR Big Key, as predicted. And there goes his chance at finding the bone Eastern. So there we go, yeah, this is...
Oh, so he changed his mind now.
Sky! I mean, this is good. No?
Or not.
Playing with our hearts.
Meanwhile, on the flip side, he's saying, I'm not going back to pod because he didn't bother to get into a portal.
Okay, so yeah, Flipheal found a book which will open up checks, but only if he also finds a sword. It's more likely to waste his time than anything. And Sky is not out yet. Like, this could be just a bow and TR. If there's a bow and TR, he's fine. Then skipping Eastern was not gonna hurt him at all. Nice 4 cannonballs in a row, by the way. I saw 5 in a row once. There's Crystal for Flipheal. Notably, not dropping Ether, so... You know, the game's not over yet. Even if the bow shows up for Sky, he still needs to find Ether. And Flipheal needs to find Ether regardless. And both of them need a sword.
Yeah, and Flipheal slowly but surely catching up with Darkened5ky on crystals.
Are they tied on crystals?
Oh yeah, they are. They
Yeah,
are,
'cause
and
Sky doesn't have Eastern.
yeah, so in a few minutes he's gonna be ahead.
Yeah, this is a lead change. And not only ahead, but like ahead on items too. Now, of course, if the bow shows up in TR and Ether, this becomes a very close race.
Oh yeah, and after this, after TR, if there's no bow here, do you go to Eastern?
Oh, a good question. No, you do Spike Cave first. Do you? It's out of logic, but Sky does have some kind of potion in his pocket. He might do it. If nothing else, Sky could get a sword there. I think both of them fell in that pit in the back of Skull. In the same exact way.
Oh yeah.
Whoa! He's going for the fast NMG strat. Let's go! Nails it too. Yeah, that's like the optimal mummy room. It's really hard. The lamp is in Turtle Rock. Sky. Did he come in with 4 keys and it's wrong on the tracker, or did he just misspend a key? I think he has the keys he needs, because he has 2. You're going to use 1 to get out of Crystal Roller Room and 1 to get to Trinex. So he actually had 4 keys. That freaked me out though when I saw him there, because
Yeah.
I went in here thinking he needed to not do that. And I did see a race decided on that recently. Where was Flute? It was in left side swamp, alongside Quake. Behind the flippers on Zora. And the Swamp Small Key in Dark Cross. So this was a required Fire Rod Dark Cross seed. It's a fun little logic twist we have here.
So I guess we're not getting Water Sword?
Well, I mean, Flipheal has 2 pendants already. And he has the Pod Big Key. If he's in Sword Go mode, he can just pull Ped. Like, that's an option. That might be faster than looking for a sword. If you have, I think people go through GT first. And
Yeah.
you clear out the basement. Maybe you climb. After you climb, you go for the sword you know. Like if somebody told you, oh, there's a sword sitting on Helmasaur, you'll just get it, right? That's basically a sword sitting on Helmasaur.
Unless Helma has another sword.
Now Sky on the other hand, did not do Back of Thieves. He's not going to pull Ped for a sword. He also doesn't know the sword's on Ped, and he has no reason to go anywhere near the pedestal for the rest of the seed. So if this comes down to a sword go mode, this could get very interesting.
Yeah, since he already did Skullwoods, it's a very uncomfortable check to make once he gets the book.
Oh, there's Ether. on Laser Bridge, which Flippy will get, but Sky is ahead by all of TR, but behind by the bow and completing Eastern. And Flipheal is on the right track to be in Sword Go mode, but has to do all of TR to get there. So it depends on what's in Mire. For Sky to be in good shape, I think the sword and bow both need to be there. If not just the bow. The bow alone would be fine. But yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, this is actually go mode for Flipheal because he knows where the sword is. It's on pedestal. And you know what? It's just Helmasaur. You just do Helma. It's fine. I think it's worth go moding Mire for.
Yeah, I mean, it arguably could be faster than be looking for a sword at random locations.
Yeah, Mire and Helmasaur both have a wall-moving cutscene. Might as well do the one that you know is going to lead to a sword, right? I think, though,
Yeah.
you do the things on the way. You get all the way to Ganon, and then you pull bed. Because there's probably just one on the way. I don't think Flipheal meant to use the potion.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
seemed like he was trying to use a Maria.
It's not the end of the world, but I think he wanted that for Trinix. Alright, Sky looks like he's going towards... Oh, he found Burna. This isn't even out of logic anymore. Ah, you just do this. Yeah, Sky can do Mire. It's not easy. Like, this is gonna be a rough biddy fight. Yeah, not even with the bow. Like, Flipheal has the bow.
Oh, yeah.
Bought a bunch of stuff, but Sky doesn't have it. Pod small. Cool. I don't think anyone's going to the back of Pod. Maybe Sky does, looking for the sword. Because he doesn't know about the pedestal sword. Tam, are you asking what game this track is from? I think it's from A Link to the Past. It sounds like the Dark World music. Dark World Dungeon music. This MSU is a bunch of basically chiptune enhancements of the Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 soundtracks, and I think some of the other ones maybe as well. This song sounds a lot like the Link to the Past dungeon music, though. It's some, you know, you might have heard of it. Okay, so Sky is not finding anything in Mire, which is really bad for him. Because one thing that could have turned this race is if a sword was here, and he doesn't have to spend time pulling Ped.
Yeah, and also it's making that video.
Oh,
never mind.
That's a bow. Oh, that's not quite go mode, but it's big. So the sword hunt just got really interesting. What?
So that is no mode for Flipheal, since he knows about that sword and pedestal.
Yeah. So we have two bows. I don't know if Sky gets the silver arrows in Eastern. Do you do that when you're looking for a sword?
I don't know. Like you have 20-something checks in GT. And maybe Darkened5ky, he won't get the bow either, because wasn't bow in the big key chest?
Yeah. So Flipheal won't get it. He knows where a sword is. He's not going to go that far out of the way. But it's a bigger question if Sky will get the one in Eastern.
Would you check that chest?
I checked that
for
chest.
one item?
Probably not. Because this is the key sanity mode where the GT big key is in GT, and you expect to find a sword there, right? If this was normal key sanity and we had the GT big key and we're going straight for the climb, maybe, because that would save me from having to do the entire basement. But in a mode where we expect to do the basement, I might be more inclined to skip out of the way dungeon checks. I'm also a little worried about Sky's equipment for the Vidi fight. I think he will fake powder an anti-fairy on the way up here. But that's not going to make the fight easy by any means. I expect him to at least use the... Oh, okay, he doesn't need to fake powder. I expect him to use the bombs and arrows as much as he can.
Yeah, and also he's on red mail, so that makes it a little bit less awful.
Yeah, the eyeballs, at least on contact damage, won't completely wreck you in 2 hits. They still hurt, though. And the lightning always does 2 hearts. Flipheal has 40 arrows and 15 bombs. So he has a little bit more ammo at his disposal. And if he finds the silvers, he's home free, but I don't know if he will. I don't think that counts as an on-the-way check.
No, I think at this point you go straight to BD.
Straight to Vidi, maybe you hookshot the chest on the bridge, and that's it. And like, maybe you do spike chest.
Yeah, maybe hoping for that sword, maybe silvers.
Oh, okay. So, Flipheal is getting silvers. Let's go. It's gonna be easy now. This kind of makes sense because it is a path that leads to the boss, and he really doesn't want to pull Ped. He's actually going for the not quite full clear. I expect him to skip the cutscene chest, but yeah, he's getting his silvers. All right. Well, that's good for him because that definitely saves time with Vidi.
Where is
Sky?
Sky going?
Sky, you have a dungeon left. No, Sky, you're gonna go to the tower and you're gonna stand there and you're gonna stare at the tower and nothing's gonna happen. It can't even call you a dingus. It doesn't have a mouth. It's just gonna stand there and wonder what you're doing. I wonder if he'll realize before he makes it there.
It has to be a mistake, right? Because
Yeah,
there's nothing
here. He's done everything on the mountain. He's gonna run past it, I think.
Oh yeah, he's gonna expect to be like stopped by the animation.
Yeah, you usually try to cancel your dash so you don't have a sword out and causing lag. But no, he just runs past it. He checks his menu and there's the crystal missing. He's like, whoa, God, which one is it? Checks his map. It's not Pod, it's not Thieves Town. It must be in the light world. Oh, we've all been there. I can laugh because I've done it too. I've made it all the way to Phase 4 Ganon. There it is. It's here. The funny thing is, he had it in his head, right? That he needed the silvers? Or the bow? Or at least he probably found the bow and thought like, oh, bow means something. But he also needs a sword, so it makes sense that he'd be doing checks. Oh, he mismarked his tracker with 4 pendants. Okay. Probably because Pod was a pendant. Eastern's in the same place as Pod. And that is our crystal number 7 for Flipheal. So, this is the rare key sanity game where you get to pick a number between 1 and 22 for the big key. But you can also pick your guess at whether he will get the pedestal sword or not.
Which number do you usually pick?
I pick 4 because it's easy to reach on the keyboard. I'm boring. It's like my left hand will just reach for a random button. It's usually 4.
I usually pick 3 for myself because I'm biased. Like 2 small, 1, 2, and 3 for the big key.
I wonder if Sky gets silvers. I mean, that's the thing we were talking about, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh, he needs a sword. But that's a long check. He's going for it. Well, this will almost certainly save him time. This is likely to be a Master Sword Ganon, so having silvers will. Oh, I love this. No, I missed. So he fired the arrow for the Lionel, but it missed. The silver arrow can actually hurt the Lionel.
So the good news about Sky doing those checks in Eastern, if there is no sword in GT, he's gonna be able to check Ether Tablet. Well, no, that's not true because he can check it, but he can't get it. Yeah.
Ether Tablet is. You're like, oh well, at least I can finish on Tempered. You could check Ped, but no one's gonna do that if you're not already there. No, you go into like Pod. I think you have the back of Pod to do. He has 4 keys. You might go to Thieves Town. Interestingly enough, the small key of Thieves has not shown up yet.
Yeah, and even if he checks the pedestal, would he go for that one, given that he still, like, he didn't do Thief's Town like Flipheal did?
I think what you do is you do the dungeons and you full clear them, hoping the sword is just in the dungeon. And then if it's not in a dungeon, at least you have a backup plan. Hey, we got a new MSU pack for Flipheal. I don't know what this is. I like it though, it's spooky. The key of this dungeon. This is the fun thing about... How far does he go? Does he keep going? He's gonna mirror out, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna... No, he's gonna keep going. Alright.
Yeah, he remembered, I need a sword. I cannot leave just yet. Maybe it's just a muscle memory when you find the big key and you're just like, I'm out.
This is also like the first key sanity seed where I don't see someone else's big key before the GT big key. There's always a fake big key in here. Like, oh, this is the big key to Skull Woods. Oh, thank you for making me excited for 2 seconds. The sky is here now. If he goes right, in full right, he could actually catch up. Because, like, what if he goes full right, like Dark Magician, right? He goes, like, gets his big key and then goes right and finds a sword? This could be a close race. I like how he left his portal up here. That's smart. Oh, did Flip already go full right? Oh, it's not as close as we thought. It could be close if it becomes a pedestal versus go into a dungeon kind of seed. Like, let's say they both go to pod and Flipheal goes to Helma, and Sky just goes to the back and finds a sword. Oh, if Helma drops a sword, do you pulp head? For tempered? Is it worth it?
With silvers? I don't think so.
I think it depends on how good you are at Master Sword Ganon. Like, I think I save time, but I don't know if Flipheal and Sky do.
I mean, I would definitely wouldn't save time.
Final shield for Flipheal.
Oh. But if you're in the main tournament, you most likely have experience doing Masters or Ganon.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a difference between being able to get through the fight and being able to do it quickly. Because doing it quickly it's something you have to learn how to do and you have to practice it. Whereas doing it normally is like, oh, you can kind of wing it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Flipheal skipped Big Chest and Tile Room. No, he did Big Chest. It was the bug net. But he skipped Tile Room for sure. I definitely didn't see that. What if Sky does Tile Room? He doesn't know there's a sword in Ped, so like, I think he actually does Tile Room. Yeah, this is a good point from chat that you could mirror outside and do hair basement before climbing. If you want to do 2 tile rooms back to back, this is the time. One thing I forgot about this situation is that Fighter Sword Gauntlet is hard.
Yes, it is. It is harder than one might initially think.
Yeah, and it's not because you're weaker, but it's because the sword doesn't reach. So, like, actually hitting things with it is harder. Like, it has, like, 1 pixel less of reach. At least. And you really feel the difference.
Yeah, and usually you're used to having a better sword by now. So you're used to, like, your movement is like calculated to have that reach.
Oh no! This guy got bonked off of the mini helmet. So Flipheal is ahead by about a gauntlet, but it also depends on if Sky does Tile Room. And if Sky finds a sword in Tile Room, I think he has the lead, unless there's one up here too. Moment of truth coming up for Flipheal, about to open the last 4 checks that are not pedestal. Thieves Town Small, so we got the Hair Small and Thieves Town Small, love to see it. Those are 2 swords nobody is getting. Maybe Sky gets it if he's doing the sword hunt and doesn't know about Ped, he goes to Thieves Town. You could get that.
And last check.
Oh baby, it's a cape. Luckily for the runners, it's not going to be an Aga Tower. Because Aga Tower is small keys. They've been placed there artificially, essentially. It's like semi-key sanity. Sky found half magic in Tile Room, which is probably not worth the time it takes to do Tile Room, but he is doing the back-to-back Tile Rooms. So if there's a sword here, that could be pretty good for him. I'll have an easier Ganon fight and have a sword. And then it's basically just who does Helmasaur versus Gauntlet faster. Oh, big key too. Oh no. Did he do Tile Room? He only did big chest. Okay. Well, can't blame me. Most people only have patience for 1 Tile Room at a time. So he'll do the climb. Hopefully there's a sword up here. And there won't be. I'd say Flipheal's squarely in the lead now because... assuming he just goes for Ped. He can get there faster than Sky can get to any location that Flipheal hasn't already done. And that's assuming he can pull off the Ganon fight as well.
And he's not doing pod?
This is the portal. You can get to Pod this way. I don't know if it's faster to get it this way. I don't know if Flipheal has done Pyramid Fairy. If he hasn't done Pyramid Fairy, it makes sense to do this on the way to Pod. And then maybe if he really doesn't want to pull Ped, he can full clear Pod. He has a bunch of keys now. Although surprisingly not that many. Not as many as you'd expect after doing all the game.
Yeah, only 3 so far.
Nice spike hit from Sky in Gauntlet 4. I think Sky is having a much smoother Gauntlet. Gaining a little bit of time back. Alright, here's the flute to 5. How much of pod does he clear before going to Helmasaur? I imagine you do Helmasaur first, because Helmasaur is also an item. The question is, do you keep going or do you just bullpen? Oh, that's true. You can turn it in for Astrala's green pendant item. Which could also be a sword. Who knows?
Okay, so Flip is deciding to check the back first. If he doesn't find a sword here, he's obviously doing Helma, but it's also interesting that he did Thieves Down because he didn't have the information that it was a pendant. So at the end, it might have actually benefited him.
Yeah,
not having that information.
I kind of expected to see a pod, small key, and pod. I didn't expect to see two of them next to each other in the Reapy basement. That's very cute. At least he can spend his keys willy-nilly now. I think he has all of them. Or at least he has enough that he can do the hammer yump and be able to get all chests. I don't think... I'm guessing he hasn't done the drop down yet. There it is. I guess you open another chest in case there's another sword? Maybe. Yeah, you don't go farther than that. Alright, that's going for Flipheal. He is squarely an elite now. If he can pull off the Master Sword Ganon fight, he takes this race against Darkened5ky. And again, what that means is if Darkened5ky beats Obscure Lifeform in the next race, Sky will have the second seed instead of the first seed in the groups. Sky came into pod with one key and didn't really have the option of sequence breaking a whole lot. Flipheal did, but the thing is that both of them found like big key of TR here. So when you find the big key of TR, you just leave and go to TR. This is a pen a post GT sword hunt with a sword on ped that Flipheal knows about. So it's been very interesting. Sky's actually going to get his sword pretty soon too, so this will still be reasonably close. Also, you'll love what is in the Pod Reapy basement. It's the best. Key Sanity Classic. Ooh! Alright, checking the bottles. I think we're fine, Flipheal. I think he's deciding can I use the cape safely or not? And he's deciding I cannot use the cape safely. He can use a little bit because he has silver arrows, but if he's going to use it, he wants to use it in phase 2. Sky getting the smoky of this dungeon.
Not happy with those.
He quick stopped the bombs just to do that bomb. And Flipheal just has to do a couple spins to get blue Ganon and silver arrows. Makes this fight a lot quicker than it could have been. Both runners were like totally on a route that could have missed silver arrows, and both of them made decisions that led to getting them. Probably in search for a sword. And that is GG for Flipheal.
GG's. And Flipheal finished with an official time of 1:51:43 seconds on race time.
And around the same time, Sky has entered Go mode and can fight the pig. We welcome Flipheal. GG.
GG's.
GG.
That was a very interesting ending.
That was just a very interesting seed overall. Even some of the middle stuff, like getting to Swamp.
Yeah, the required Dark Cross Fire Rod only was, you know, one of those rarities that we like to see. And then, of course, the vanilla flippers. Following the mirror on Hobo. That was very cute.
Yeah, I was totally ready to fake, Ancilla delete the big key, and then, yep, just have some flippers instead.
Yeah, when we saw Sky go there, he did not have the bow and could not have Ancilla deleted, and he bonked when he had the water walk. So it was like, oh, you know, there's a big key there, now he can't get it, and then he gets the flippers. But at the time also, there weren't that many checks left, it was just that and Back of Skullwood, so we knew that something was going to be there and that he was going to have to pick it up. Because it's progression, so he wouldn't have been able to keep his water walk anyway. Not that the water walk does a lot when you can't actually splash delete, but it does make the splash delete a lot easier when you can.
Yeah, and oh my god, I just want to say, I read where the sword was, and I was like, the whole time I was like, should I just get that sword? But I had like Turtle Rock, I had Mire, I had GT, I was like, surely another sword's in like one of those places, right?
Yeah, we were speculating if you were gonna go straight and get that sword after GT, or if you were gonna look for maybe better options.
Yeah, it was tempting, but I had so little left. I just figured hopefully Pyramid Fairy because it's there, and then, you know, if the back of pod was empty, that was the best play. I knew where they were.
And Sky is finished with the time shortly coming up. Of 1:55:21, just a few minutes behind. There were some moments where it looked like Sky could have pulled a sword. He did do Tile Room of TR, or of GT, and then he also did the Hera Big Chest right after. So those were two places where he could have picked up a sword before you and taken the lead. But that did not happen, so you retain your lead.
And we got Sky. GG's.
GG, Sky.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was it's a doozy.
That was definitely an experience.
That was a rough one. GG's.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, for
assuming you
sure.
talked about maybe in the race room where the other swords might have been. And
Yeah.
did Appeal tell you about the one he knew about?
I did find out the one on Ped. It
Yep.
is not that surprising.
Did you also notice that your race room is called Bonus Tempered?
I did not.
I'd like to point that out.
Incredible.
I did not see that.
You mean, in my position, like, I skipped so much. I was like, there could be so many places where a sword could be. Like, I don't like abandoning dungeons. Skipping Thieves Town felt really gross to me. Skipping the one chest in Mire felt really gross. So I was really afraid that swords would be there. So
The thing that actually set you behind was Flipheal deciding to do an early Eastern dive and finding a bow there. Because that put him in go mode sooner.
yeah, if I hadn't mismarked Eastern as a pendant somehow, I might have gone there sooner. But
Oh,
I
didn't
don't
think
know how
about the
that one
extra
happened.
mountain climb. Yeah, the extra mountain climb did not lose you the race, but it definitely would have compounded if there had been something else that didn't also set you back. But that bow find was pretty big for him.
Yeah, I
There's-
almost thought it was because I don't know when we found our respective flippers in Swamp Small, but I was
both of you.
definitely very late to the Swamp Small. So
Both of
know
you
how I
very
feel.
nearly last location the flippers. Sky got to Swamp Small a little earlier because he didn't do the early escape that you did.
I don't remember exactly when I went to escape. It was a bit later though.
Also, that was really great. I got the flippers and then I got the mirror immediately. I'm like, oh my god, swamp, let's go. And then I get in there and I open the first chest and I'm like, oops,
Oh,
I
you
can only
didn't
do one
know.
check.
Oh.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It's a key sanity classic.
Just got them immediately, and then I just like my brain was like, oh, all right, cool, I can do swamp, or maybe I mismarked a key on my tracker, so I thought I could full clear and I didn't have it yet. One of those two things.
To be fair, there was a lot to keep track of in this seed.
There's a lot of logic. You were both out of logic for a very long time. Flipheal spent a little more time trying to get back in logic, but the logic was so elusive. You had to go to Zora to get the flippers, and then go to Swamp and do left side. And you had to do the Fire Rod Dark Cross to get back in logic. So there's no blame in going to the entire Death Mountain when you have that to clear.
Yeah, exactly. Like at the same time, I knew it wasn't in logic, but I didn't want to do like every slow check. Like I felt like I had to do some efficiency. And
Like
then,
even if there had been a couple swords there, it would have made Swamp a lot better. Both of you had to do the Hammer Swamp because that was all but required in this seed. It was required if you didn't want to double dip Swamp. Or do a whole bunch of pod. I don't remember what the pod big key was, but it was locking two swords.
That last sword's got to be on Helmasaur or somewhere.
Yeah, there's
I'm guessing it's
couple
on one of the book checks.
book
Yeah.
checks. You got the big chest of Thieves Town. Hair Basement wasn't checked. Both of those behind small keys that you found in GT.
I thought about doing Hera Basement, but after having already done Tile Room and everything else in GT, it just felt like too much of a waste.
Yeah, I skipped Tile Room, and I was almost tempted to do Hera Big Chest because it would have given me a chance to read the Ped, and if there was another sword, then I would have like definitely beelined Pod, but I was like, I don't want to do too many checks like that. I just like, whatever.
Surely there'd be a sword in the 20-something chests in GT, right?
Exactly. I was really hoping for it to be in the big chest. Like, how often you get to open that in a seed like this?
Oh, why get a sword when you can get Bugnet and Half Magic? Oh, I also want to point out both of you do left side swamp, doing the hook shot clip through the blocks.
Very
and
good.
You also did the 4 Fire Rod Argus quick kill, and I was pretty impressed with that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool that we were both in sync like that.
I have not once ever done a 4 fire rod quick kill, so I was just glad that it worked.
I'm glad that your first one is on Restream too.
Very nice.
Any final thoughts before we close this out? Nope.
Swords are gross.
I don't know. Good luck on your final race. I'm out, but it'll be interesting to see who prevails into second place. And thanks for the comms, the tracking, the restreams and stuff. It was pretty cool. I went to bed and it was like, I don't think I had any restreams, and then I went from having 0 to 2 in one day. I was like, okay. So thanks.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
the race earlier today was really exciting. You can watch it back if you want, or you can give Flipheal and Sky a follow. Sky will be potentially continuing through this tournament. His next race will be against Obscure Lifeform at 3:10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. And that will be a decider for both of them. The winner of that race will get to advance into brackets.
Oh boy, no pressure.
No pressure.
Thanks for putting this on. I had a good time, and hopefully it was entertaining.
It was fun seeing. Lot to talk about in this one. If you'd like to catch more, this is it for Link to the Past and Randomizer tonight, but there is an anime speedruns festival going on in SpeedGaming Prime, and then tomorrow the Link to the Past picks up again with a very large number of restreams that I will not list, but you can just go into the schedule that I will link shortly and check out when that interests you and see how many you can watch on a Saturday. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.